Welcome, beloved, to the 16th episode of the Ascension Cafe. I literally cannot believe we are here 5 months in. I hope you've enjoyed the episodes as much as I have in creating them. Grab yourself a cuppa, pull up a chair, and join me. Let's talk about spiritually perfect, the trap. You know, the one where social media is flooded with polished presenters, performers sharing absolutely perfect information. I spoke about this last week, this instant guru, the perfectly polished with amazing lives living in beautiful places. And for a long time, if I'm truly honest, I tried to compete with some of those creators. But my reels never looked very professional. They always looked unfinished. And I would get frustrated as other creators talked about teachings that I had explored many months earlier and had delivered in workshops and in my circles and communities. And yet, I couldn't seem to get off the ground. There was a fear building in me that people would see my mistakes. They would doubt me or question me as a teacher because I didn't have many followers or hundreds of likes on every post or reel. And in those moments of true frustration, I really wanted to reach out for help. But there was the fear also that as a teacher, as a healer, what would that look like if I was going to others for help? I want to go back a little bit. My early life was heavily influenced by childhood conditioning. My parents set high expectations for my sister and me, meaning that performance and achievement rather than pleasure were the focus of everything we did. This instilled in me a profound pressure to be a high achiever. However, I stumbled at the first hurdle. I detested school. Frequently, I would skip classes, play truant. My only ambition in life was to be outdoors, having fun, playing, engaging with nature, talking to my imaginary friends, such as the fairies, the magical creatures that I created in my huge imagination, and spending time with animals. I felt as a child and as a young person completely out of place in my own life. While I loved music and was naturally gifted at dancing, I played both the trumpet and the clarinet, and I even progressed to be a professional dancer. But that joy was often eclipsed by the pressure to achieve. I felt intrinsically drawn to create self-expression through the arts. It was in me, a part of my soul, my essence. But this path was dismissed as not viable. This wasn't something you did in life. This wouldn't earn you a good wage. It wasn't stable. It wasn't secure. It was a pipe dream. So by my mid-teens, all my hopes, dreams, and desires had been completely crushed. And I don't blame my parents at all. I know I was deeply loved. They did everything they could from their hearts, believing they were steering us in the right direction. My spiritual awakening, like many of us, has been the unraveling of that conditioning. It's been the removing of the masks, releasing the stories, and finding my own truth. And I have reached out to other light workers for help at times of confusion, for readings, for healing sessions. And I've come to realize that reaching out for support isn't a sign of weakness or me failing as a spiritual teacher. It is actually my greatest strength. It takes a profound level of confidence to admit when I've misunderstood something. My spirit team are never wrong, but I have misinterpreted their guidance and got the human details wrong. And by seeking help from other readers or healers, I've come to realize I'm not failing. I am honoring the fact that we are meant to heal alongside others. And that it's not about me performing, it is about me being real and authentic. The most magnetic thing about us isn't our ability to get it right every time or to be a high achiever. It's our courage to be real when we get it wrong, to acknowledge that maybe we've jumped the gun. And that's certainly something I have done many times on my path. It's about us embracing the beautiful mess of our spiritual growth. Many people begin their spiritual journey searching for peace, clarity, or healing, only to feel discouraged when progress feels messy or non-linear. Does this feel like your truth? It certainly has felt like mine. Spiritual growth isn't about achieving flawlessness, it's about showing up authentically, even when you make mistakes. In fact, to be truly honest, the most profound breakthroughs often arise more from the moments of imperfection, in the raw, honest spaces between doubt and faith. Today's episode explores how embracing our imperfections can actually accelerate our healing and spiritual growth, and why authenticity matters more than appearance or performance, and how vulnerability strengthens our practice. And I hope to share with you some practical ways to release the pressure of getting it right on your spiritual path. Sharing what I've learned through the missteps, the misunderstandings, the being impatient, presumptuous. I hope to be able to empower you on your journey so you can take control yourself. So, beloved, it's time to let go of the myth that you must be or live in a certain way to be spiritual. The path isn't about perfection, it's about presence. And that's where our real transformation begins. There are those who believe the spiritual path demands unwavering positivity, flawless practices, or a life free from doubt and struggle. And in all honesty, this couldn't be further from the truth. True healing and spiritual growth on the ascension path isn't about achieving perfection. It's about embracing authenticity, shadows and light alike. When we expect ourselves to be constantly enlightened or emotionally elevated, we can actually create resistance to the very growth that we are seeking. And some of those common misconceptions can be things like spirituality, meaning we're always positive, suppressing negative emotions, which actually then blocks the inner work that we're trying to do. Toxic positivity is so prevalent in our spiritual communities. And I say to you today, from my heart to yours, it's okay to feel sad, fed up, struck, frustrated, or even angry. There's also false teachings around you must meditate daily or follow strict rituals or behave in a certain way or dress a certain way or act a certain way. Obviously, meditation and any other spiritual practices are powerful ways to spiritually develop. But if they become rigid routines, they lose their potency. It becomes performance rather than transformation. It's better to spend time each morning after awaking to listen to your heart and your body, and then practice what you need rather than what you think you should do. Another huge misconception is enlightenment looks like detachment. Real awakening often leads to deeper connection with life, not disengagement from life's messiness. It often takes you into more mess, into more chaos. Spiritual dismissal can divert us from growth. True growth actually happens in the midst of our challenges, our hardships, our losses, those initiations in our humanity. The heart of the journey lies in compassionate self inquiry, and many seekers are now rediscovering that sacredness lives not from polished appearances and performances, but in raw, honest moments of grief, confusion, frustration, questioning, love, connection, joy, and surrender. Both the light and the dark within us in harmony. You don't need to get it right to be on the sacred path. Simply showing up with intention, even when you're feeling uncertain, tired, or at the worst, disillusioned. That in itself is a form of spiritual practice. Letting go of the pressure to be spiritually perfect in your humanness, in your flaws, is what is key to your inner growth. Begin where you are right now. Honor your process and allow transformation to unfold organically. There is great beauty in spiritual imperfection. A friend of mine from years ago used to say we are imperfectly perfect. And that came through to me so strongly this morning before I sat down to write the blog and to record this vlog and podcast. Because true spiritual growth isn't about being flawless. It's actually cultivated through embracing and embodying the messy, the uncertain, being beautifully human with all of our flaws. It's through the doubts, the setbacks, the questioning, the emotional challenges. These aren't signs of failure, they're integral markers of authentic inner transformation. When we're moving through a process of spiritual healing, many expect constant clarity and inner peace, but the reality is that progress actually often arises from us sitting with discomfort and truly honoring your unique process, because your journey will be nothing like mine or nothing like the next person and the following person after that. So instead of resisting your imperfections, view them as guides. Let each moment of doubt invite you into deeper self inquiry. Every emotional block to absolutely and utterly help you to witness what needs to be seen, the unresolved trauma that you hold deep within you. By leaning into these experiences with compassion, you create space for realignment and healing. This approach fosters resilience and deepens self awareness. And in this space of quiet introspection, we can truly flourish. I think it's really important we acknowledge our feelings without judgment. Fear, confusion, frustration, impatience are all valid parts of awakening. I want to share with you some ways you can turn these challenges into stepping stones to your growth. First of all, reframe setbacks as fearbacks. There is no failure on this path, but there is learning. There is no wrong path to take, but there are opportunities for expansive growth. Practice daily reflection through journaling, meditation, or just moments of quiet stillness, being out in nature. All of these things can help us to hear that subtle inner voice. And from that space, we can begin to see what needs to be acknowledged, felt, healed, and let go of. Seek community support. Sharing your struggles reduces isolation. It can feel really lonely on this path at times. I, for one, have felt very isolated. And I've understood some of that isolation is my cave time. It has great purpose. But there are times I do wish I'd had more awakened people around me. Because spending time with like minded and kindred souls is such a powerful way to let go of the masks and reveal your true self in a space where you feel seen, heard, safe, and validated. And it's not that we need to be validated, but just having somebody say to you, I understand. I felt that too, is such a massive, huge boost of empowerment on your path. And truly authentic spirituality, it isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's about living in the here and now. It's about addressing what needs to be addressed in the moment. It's not about the spiritual highs and the euphoric experiences we can have. They are beautiful and amazing. They are a solid, strong reminder of our divinity, our true essence. But it is about living amongst the mess, the chaos, the humdrum of human life. And when we let go of that pressure to get it right, we actually open the door to profound inner change. I want to share with you 5 ways to deepen your spiritual practice. But rather than trying to perfect it, embracing your flaws and your imperfections, being imperfectly perfect. The first one is cultivating radical self acceptance. Because spiritual growth isn't about becoming someone new, it's about actually returning to who you've always been beneath the layers of expectation, the conditioning, the programming. It's allowing yourself to be imperfect. It's fostering self compassion, self love. It's stopping yourself from resisting your flaws and embracing them fully. It's about acknowledging and allowing a full range of emotions to be expressed, even the messy ones, the noisy ones. It's about quietening your inner criticism and deepening your relationship with your higher self. The second one is strengthening our presence. Often not in the pursuit of spiritual perfection, we're actually pulled away from the true focus. We're moved into the future, who we want to be in the future, how we want to be in the future. Then what happens is the mind starts to engage, the egoic mind. We start to ask our self questions like, well, what if I fail? What if this isn't for me? What if I'm not good enough? But by accepting your imperfections, your flaws, who you truly are, it anchors you in the now. You are empowered to release the need to control outcomes. You become more attuned with your breath, your body, and the subtle energies within you and around you. And this presence is where we gain the true spiritual insights, because the ones that are most powerful are always unplanned, they're always unexpected, and they're always deeply, deeply real. The third one is to foster deep interpersonal connections. Sorry, excuse my dogs if you hear the play fighting at the moment. Authentic spiritual communities thrive on vulnerability. Sharing our struggles honestly and openly, and not just our breakthrough, invites others to do the same. It's truly empowering. When we stop masking our insecurities, we create a ripple effect of openness, especially in a group healing circle or a workshop or a community. It's powerful. We give each other permission to be our true, authentic selves. The fourth one is to accelerate your personal transformation, because true growth happens not through friction, not through flawlessness, but actually through embodying those things you may see as an imperfection, as who you truly are. Every aspect of you, the light, the dark, embodying it all. Every stumble offers you an insight, and embracing what you may perceive as a misstep is just part of the process. There is no right or wrong way. And when we embrace that personal transformation, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it, it helps us to integrate the lessons at a deep seat soul level and not just in an intellectual sense of the mind. And the last tip I want to share with you is to align yourself with the natural flow of Mother Earth. Mother Earth doesn't operate on rigid templates. Nature thrives in symmetry, flow, and wildness, abandonment. By mirroring this organic rhythm in your practices, you allow things to fall away, you allow time for growth and for healing to unfold in all its messy glory. You align with a deeper, more authentic spiritual vibration, current, and path. So, how do we navigate the setbacks and the emotional struggles on our spiritual path? So, what do we do when we feel spiritually stuck or disconnected? Feeling stagnant is a common experience on this path, even for us seasoned practitioners. Instead of resisting the sensation, acknowledge it with compassion. Begin with gentle practices such as daily breath work, journaling, grounding in nature, or just rebuilding your energetic momentum in whatever way feels good for you. It doesn't have to always be the obvious things like meditation, prayer. Sometimes it can be dancing around your kitchen or going out for a walk and letting the wind blow through your hair. So how do we handle the bad days without feeling like we're not progressing? Because we've all done that, haven't we? We've all had bad days where we feel like I'm not moving on this path. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. We have to remember that growth isn't linear. Sometimes we will take 3 or 4 steps up that ladder only to slip back down again. And that's okay, because it's not meant to be a constant climb. On the difficult days, it's good for us to focus on presence rather than our spiritual performance. and not to label it as a bad day, just to simply accept it. It is what it is. On those days, try and just give yourself a 5-10 minute check-in. Just be still in your own energy with no distractions. Maybe you find using affirmations quite powerful. They can certainly help us to reclaim our power and to center us back and ground us back into ourselves again. But just remember, if you're having one of those days, emotional release is often just part of the healing process. It's not a setback, it's purging. So honor those days and understand you are letting go of so much that you have held on to for many, many years that isn't yours to carry. And again, please excuse if you can hear my dogs playing in the background. I want to also mention that it's totally normal to doubt your path during the tough times. Doubt often surfaces before we have a major breakthrough. Questioning is part of the process. If we took everything that everybody taught us or told us as literal, where would be the growth for us as individuals? So reframe these doubts as a sign of growth and just ask yourself, well, what is this discomfort? What is this doubt teaching me in this moment? And use this reflective approach to transform your challenges into deeper wisdom. Emotional and being emotional is part of a spiritual awakening. We have waves that often arise as suppressed energy that is being surfaced for us to witness, to let go of. So allow those emotions as they come to just flow through you without judgment. Techniques like somatic practices are really good to help you move through these suppressed emotions. Also, heart centered meditations, they really support safe integration when we are feeling unbalanced and emotional. If you're struggling to stay consistent and you feel your motivation, that once deep passion you had for your spiritual path is starting to wane and falter, then just strip it right back. Just take it right back to the basics. Come back to where you began. Just commit to short but powerful practices each and every day. Just 5 minutes of stillness or gratitude is enough to just refocus and just to find that flame deep within us again. Consistency is everything on this path. It doesn't have to be huge, massive leaps of progress. Tiny, small steps, consistent, tiny, small steps build lasting transformation. And embrace the journey, not the destination. Because the more that we understand and we realize that our spiritual path isn't about reaching a flawless state, it's about showing up imperfectly with all of our flaws, but with courage and openness, with transparency, then we can absolutely and utterly let go of everything that causes and creates resistance and energy blocks by just accepting ourselves exactly as we are, accepting our path exactly as it is, to let go of trying to make it something it isn't, and just to enjoy it. So pause before striving. Take a moment to breathe. Redirect your focus to the presence. Journal your process. Track not just the breakthroughs, but the tiny subtle shifts through the moments of frustration, the moments of doubt. Lean into community, connect with others either locally or online who honor authenticity over appearances and spiritual trends. Your healing becomes more powerful when you release the pressure to get it right. True spiritual progress flourishes in the messy, honest moments, the tears, the doubts, the quiet epiphanies. So keep going, beloved. I see you. I feel you. And even when it feels deeply unpolished and messy, know that your journey is valid, it is sacred, and it is unfolding exactly as it should. Stay grounded, stay open, let go of the need to control. Be authentic and trust your inner wisdom. And until we meet again, beloved, may you walk in clarity, compassion, and love. I know how it feels. I've been there and I will go there again and again. And I'm sending you so much love and many blessings from me. Carry not in the Ascension Cafe.